Gets me through my morning every day. Every morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adelaide's Jody and Hazy on Nova.
As a bit of an open space, I can safely say this and I won't get judged, but it's nice just to deliver some information out there so people know exactly what's going on inside the studio. I work with a bunch of dirty birds. What I thought we'd do as a bit of an exercise right now, because I've just received some information from a specific doctor over in the US. Ladies, can we all have a shower together?
My God.
Let's just go for it anyway. All right. Jump in. News reader, Abby, you want to jump in?
Move over.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to have a little shower beer if that's okay.
Of course. Sure.
Okay.
We're in the shower.
This is an education process.
Okay.
Excuse me very much, Producer Emily. Can you just move over, for goodness sake? You're hogging all of the hot water. Oh, my God. Get your belly out of the way.
Is that a fat joke?
Mate, this might surprise you. Yeah. 3 body parts that are severely neglected when you have a shower.
Oh.
3 body parts, 3 areas of the body.
Oh, no. Can I guess?
Do you want to go through them?
Oh.
Yeah, have a bit of a guess. What do you got there, Jose?
Okay, I reckon maybe your ears.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe your feet.
Mm-hmm.
Not your pits, because everyone goes to the pits.
Oh, gosh. Another beer.
I'm going to say maybe your neck.
Oh, no, neck's fine.
Okay.
But you got 2 out of 3.
Right.
And we'll start with the one that you didn't get, and that is your belly button.
What?
Oh. You guys wash your belly button?
No.
Right. Dr. Jason Singh said those with an innie belly button should use a Q-tip and mild soap to clean the area, while those with an outie belly button should lather up with a washcloth or a sponge, which really reminds myself of Bart Simpson back in the day.
I wash myself with a rag on a stick.
No one washes their belly button.
No.
And it's an absolute haven for dirt and bacteria.
So this is probably too much information, but now, as we all know that I'm the size of a house because I'm pregnant, now my belly button sticks out. So mine gets a lot of attention now, and it did not before. And let me tell you, that's gross.
So you get the old rag on a stick onto it.
I do, yep. Bart Simpson.
Do you know what surprises me? I thought the back of your ears would be on that list.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people who don't really get behind there and it ends up smelling.
Yes, well, you're right. Ears is on the list. Sebaceous glands behind your ears produce sebum. I said sebum, by the way, which is a mix of sweat and dirt. The skin folds and the crevices in that area harbour these substances that can create an environment that is conducive to bacterial growth.
That's why lots of boys get blackheads on the backs of their ears.
Is that right?
Yeah. How do you even know that?
I might have used to enjoyed popping my exes.
Sicko.
Okay.
And the last one is feet. So this particular doctor noted that the soles of the feet have more sweat glands than any other body parts. I don't wash my feet.
No, neither.
No one washes their feet.
Does anyone actually wash their legs? Because when I think about it, you lather up, and you do but I just let the water fall down my legs. Like, I don't actually physically wash my legs unless I'm shaving them.
No, sometimes I'll sit there for 45 minutes looking at the ground. Just looking at the ground.
I love sitting in the shower.
Every 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's where you do your thinking, though. Like, if I've
100%.
got big life decisions happening or I'm going through it, I sit in the shower and think about life.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll sit in the shower and stare into the universe, and Greg will come in and go, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, absolutely nothing. And it's so blissful. Oh,
it's nice, isn't
I'm
it?
not cleaning my ears, that's for sure.
Genuine waste of water. So there you go, ladies, and everyone out there. Make sure you clean your belly button, feet, and ears just a little bit better.
Nice.
Good stuff. Showers off.
We're out.
Bad news for you, ladies. There's one towel. Let's start with Dan Houston. Tribunals last night. And for Port Adelaide supporters, it didn't go his way. 5 games he's been banned for, which was a little bit surprising. They were going for 3. The AFL was obviously going for 5. And you sort of thought that they'd meet somewhere in the middle. But usually in these situations, the AFL always wins.
Yeah, don't take on the AFL. That's just a general rule to live by, I reckon.
Yeah, so basically the AFL argued that the initial hit was high and it got Rankin around the sort of neck and the collarbone. The Port argued that it didn't get him high, although the outcome was a concussion. Some medical records, though, had since been released saying that Rankin does have a collarbone injury.
Right.
So that would probably prove the AFL correct. And also, of course, he's got a concussion. They've got till about 11:30 today to appeal, which they absolutely will. And if they could appeal and get at least 1 game off, that would be a big result for them.
Just having a look at all the socials last night, everyone was just like, appeal, you must appeal.
Yeah, so it's a tricky situation because Dan Houston, and what everyone sort of realised right now, has played, 168 games, squeaky clean, And you could probably call 35 people for character references and they'd all say the same thing. Like, he's a very, very good person. But unfortunately, and Isaac Rankin is a very good person as well, he's the one with a concussion right now. It's footy now. It's a little bit confusing, but understandably, they're protecting the player. And in particular, they're protecting the head.
Yeah, it's a different time, isn't it? You go back to the old school where people, the likes of Barry Hall punch Brent Staker in the face and get the same amount of weeks that we see Dan Houston getting. So probably a bit more. But
isn't that unbelievable? So I think Barry Hall got 7 weeks back then. So if Barry Hall did this now, they'd treat him the same way that they're treating Matt Crouch. What about this story?
What is this story?
Oh my gosh.
What?
So via 7 News and Josh Money, a police investigation is underway after a Port Adelaide supporter accused Adelaide Crow Matt Crouch of knocking his hat off following the drama-filled showdown at Adelaide Oval on Saturday night.
Can you give me a spell, please? Can you give me an absolute spell? So let me get this right. So this Port Adelaide supporter can hang over the fence and hurl abuse in Matt Crouch's face, like absolute rancid abuse. And he's like, but he hit my head off.
And that's the thing. The supporters, whether you win or lose, whether you're giving it to your team or the opposition team, the guys that hang over on the race as the players are going in, absolutely hurling obscenities. I mean, if it was old school, good luck doing that to Barry Hall.
No, exactly.
He'd knock more than your hat off.
Yeah, this seems so ridiculous. And dare I say it, an absolute waste of police resources.
Oh, you'd think so. A spokesman for SA Police said the matter was under investigation by Eastern District Police after they received a report at the end of the showdown.
Yeah.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is just the gift that keeps on giving. Showdown 56.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about this thing for the next month, shall we?
I know. It's just been one thing after another. Like when you rang me yesterday and you're like, oh my God, police are investigating Matt Crouch. I went, what are you
I thought I checked the date.
about?
I thought it was April the 1st.
Oh,
What's happening here?
Goodness.
All right, that is the latest on Showdown 56. No doubt. So much more news will probably pop up tomorrow. Let's talk about crazy dog owners. Yeah, that's you, isn't it? Everyone who owns a dog loves the absolute bejesus out of them, don't they? Here's a study for you, Jodes. This study has found that 54% of dog owners might end a relationship if their dog dislikes their partner.
I feel like dogs are a pretty good judge of character.
Yeah, that's it though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you ever go into a room, the dog's barking at you, your dog's giving you the evil eye, you're like, it's me, isn't it? Because the dogs don't lie.
Yeah.
We know that much. The study, which was titled The Truth About Dog People, highlights how modern pet owners increasingly view their dogs as family, often prioritising their pets' feelings in personal decisions. And haven't we all been in a situation where we just run it by the dog? I got a new prospective partner here. What do you think? Oh, I think she's a bit of a cow. Well, she's getting the flick.
Yeah. I'm sort of on the fence on this one because I've never been a pet person until I met my beautiful Sid, and then my world changed.
See, I was never a dog person until I met Indiana, which was Cara's dog originally, and it was a small little white fluffy thing. And I'm from the country. It's just border collies and kelpies, and I thought that's not for me.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, 6 months later, I've never loved an animal more in my life.
That's so funny. And Indiana became so incontinent by the end, and you're like, you can wee on me, it's fine.
Just wee on me. Just weeing, pooing.
Don't even care.
Sometimes at the same time.
But I think if you come from a background of non-dogs and then you become a dog lover, you're very conscious of non-dog lovers. And you're like, so if, the postman comes around, I'm like, Sid, come here. Because, not everyone loves dogs, and that's okay.
And also, universally, dogs don't like post people.
Yeah.
They just go for them for some reason. They shouldn't because they're trying to deliver with mail.
That's why they've got those speedy little vans now with the little tops on so they can get away very quickly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when I say very quickly, top speed 45 k's an hour, that's it.
Too fast for Sid? That's all that matters. Nearly 94% of owners consider their dogs family, reflecting the deep emotional bond between humans and their pets. 13, 24, 10.
So I was just about to do that. You do that. No, you go.
Let's do this. When did a pet make or break the relationship? Because they can be tricky little fellas. It's part of the family.
Yeah.
They're absolutely part of the family.
We have a resident sausage dog obsessor in our team in newsreader, Abby.
Yes. No doubt Abby's got a story in this space. 13, 24, 10. When did a pet make or break the relationship? We do have a $100 Kent Town Hotel voucher up for grabs for the best caller.
I reckon she would have kicked someone to the curb. Let's find out.
Yeah, I think so. All right, we'll get news, Rita Abbey's story next. When did a pet make or break the relationship? It turns out that most people, according to a study, would ditch their partner if their partner didn't like their dog.
It's a tricky one. It's tricky. Yeah, well, it's not. It's black and white.
Yeah.
Here's Rita Abbey, who's been in this situation, haven't you, Don? What happened?
Yeah, so I obviously have 2 sausage dogs, and let's be honest, they're little a-holes. And
That's them saying hello.
that is literal footage of Tank.
But also, Tank hates men.
Yeah, Tank barks, but then he becomes friends with them. Tori's very skittish, doesn't like men.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they both hate men. Sorry.
Yeah. But, yeah, I've kind of been in this situation. There's a guy that I was seeing for a fair while, but he hated the dogs.
Right.
Oh, back then I only had Tank, so he hated Tank, and I just used to say, like, we can't be together if you hate my dogs, and he just used to go on about my dogs. And in the end, obviously, there were other factors, and I moved away, but, yeah, he just said all the time how much he hated my dogs.
Yeah, so you ditched him because of the dogs?
Well, we kind of ditched each other in the end.
So do you reckon you
Chose
would have
Tank.
got married and done all that if it hadn't have been for Tank?
Quite possibly.
Yeah, right.
Quite possibly.
Are you resentful of Tank? I would be.
No, because I think he's starting to go deaf a little bit, so it's giving me all the feels of he's getting old and it could be time soon.
Is Tank the one? Does Tank keep you warm at night? Was it worth it?
There's been a few nights I've had to chuck him up in bed because he's whining and being a pain.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, maybe. A lot of people, though, it's interesting. I met a guy at a party once and he goes, you know what your problem is? You know why you're still single? And I said, well
Here we
what's
go.
that?
Yeah, here we go.
And he goes, because he goes, you've got 2 dogs and men get turned off by that. Like
Oh,
you're
no,
obsessed
they
with, yeah,
don't.
he goes, you're
true?
obsessed with your dogs. You've got, your life is your dogs and men don't want to have to deal with that. And I went, oh, okay, thanks for that.
Yeah,
that
that's
true?
incorrect. That is not true. And I feel like I'd go the other way. If someone's an animal lover, that's a green flag.
This has just taken a turn for me, 13, 24, 10. Are you a man? Are you put off by women who are obsessed by their
Oh,
dogs?
come on, grow up just for a
I
second.
feel like I'm not obsessed by them.
No,
but
yes, you are.
13 24 10, give us a call. When did the pet make or break the relationship? We're taking your calls. When did a pet make or break the relationship?
54% of people have come out and said, you know what? If you don't like my dog, you don't like me.
Yeah.
Therefore, we break up.
And I can completely understand that. We just heard from News Rita Abbey, who potentially could be married right now, but the fella didn't like the dogs.
Also, this bloke at a party who's gone, people don't like you or you're not attractive to us because you're obsessed with your dogs. How rude.
How rude.
God.
I mean, he could have just said I was ugly, but went and attacked the dogs.
He wasn't going to do that because then the dogs would absolutely bite his face off.
That's so true.
They're your little bodyguards.
They are.
2410, get involved in this, please, this morning. Would you break up with someone over their pet? Let's go to Sue. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning, team.
Sue, you've got a pet, an unusual one?
I have.
What is
I
it?
have got an unusual one. It's a Murray Darling carpet python.
Oh! Of course it is. So, Sue, what's the name of the snake and how long have you had it for?
The snake's name is Malia, and we've had him for about 13 years.
Right.
Okay.
Now, is Malia a biting type snake or?
No, it's a python, so they constrict. They don't bite. Well, they do bite, but they're not venomous.
Yes, right, okay.
Won't bite you. It'll strangle you to death, but it won't.
Sometimes, Sue, how many times have you woken up and Malia's just choking you around the neck and you're like, Malia, down, heel.
Back in your box.
And so what's the reaction from potential suitors with Malia?
Well, it's not normally a good one, but I have one particular female friend, like a girlfriend that I've had for many, many, many years, who now refuses to come to my house.
Really?
Yeah.
Not just in the house, like won't come near the snake, won't come in the house.
Yeah.
But you still got that thing? Well, I'm not coming over.
Wow. That is amazing. And what is it? Is it something that Malia said or?
It's her breath. She's got stinky breath.
Stinky breath.
Hey, there's a bit of an old wives' tale as well that snakes and people who own snakes, is it true that sometimes your snake will lay itself next to you because it's sizing you up to see if it can swallow you? Have you heard that?
Really?
Have you heard that before, Sue?
Yes, I have heard that, and I understand that to be true because I believe it was a friend of mine's teacher's sister or something that had happened to, and it was true. It was they. Oh, my snake sleeps in bed with me, and apparently it was sizing her up and getting ready to.
Wow.
How about that? So just before we let you go, have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and you've been half consumed by Malia and you're like, down, Malia, down.
Maybe not that snake.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
Good.
goodness.
At 7:26 on a Wednesday morning.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you for that. Good morning, Amber.
Good morning.
Okay, you've got pets, yes?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and is the opposite sex put off by them?
No, absolutely not. It's actually like a bring together love story with our dogs.
Oh, what happened?
So I am really, really allergic to like animals, but I'm an absolute green flag animal lover, and so it's like this curse that I've got. But my exes and people I've seen have pets that I'm so allergic to that even though I really like them, I just can't get past the point of being really allergic to the animals.
Oh.
So, you know, when I was dating, if I saw like a husky or something on their profile, I just immediately can't talk to them. But my current boyfriend, Dylan, he's from England, and a big green flag was that he had a toy poodle. And when he moved here, he obviously had to give the dog up to the ex because of the overseas move. But we currently have a toy and a mini poodle, and we're just absolutely in love with them.
Aww.
They're our little fur babies.
There you go. Poodles. Poodles are the key.
Gorgeous little hypoallergenic poodles.
Yeah, that's what it's
aren't
all
they?
about, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love poodles too, by the way.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, thank you so much for your calls. Showdown 56, what about all the stories that have come out?
It's like, it's just, there's fallout and then there's more fallout and then there's more fallout.
All right, should we start with Dan Houston?
Yes, please.
Went to the tribunal last night, copped a 5-game suspension for Port Adelaide supporters. You know what that means? He is done for the rest of the season, no matter what. He won't play unless they can get it reduced, maybe. They're definitely going to appeal, by the way. So they got till about 11:30 to decide whether they can appeal. They might as well give it a crack.
Yeah.
Because what's the worst can happen? They potentially get one off, but usually unlikely in these situations. So Port Adelaide was trying to argue that it was a low hit, and we all thought it was a low hit. The AFL arguing that it was actually a high hit because it got ranking around the neck.
Yep.
And since then, an injury report has come out saying that he does have an injured collarbone as well.
Yeah.
So the AFL sided with the AFL's counsel, and that's what they wanted, 5 games, and they've got it.
It was pretty emotional yesterday, Dan, when he rocked up to the club and all the reporters were there and he read out a little statement and he sort of looked a little bit choked up and said he had reached out to Isaac Rankin just to say, hey, you know, I hope you're okay.
Yeah, and we speak to Dan Houston. He's part of our team almost every week. And there's not someone that you're going to speak to that won't say that he is as good a guy as you could find.
He is so very lovely, and you can just tell there's not a malicious bone in his body.
So he's not a thug.
No.
He's not a thug. So people on social media going, oh, I was a thug act and all those types of things. That is not how Dan Houston plays.
No.
And on the flip side of that, though, Isaac Rankin is an absolute star. And we're all concerned about his health, and hopefully he's recovering quickly, because you don't want to see any sort of head-high contact, whether it's initial action or even the outcome.
So just doing the maths on this, which you would have done because I definitely have not. So if they get it reduced to 4, would he be eligible to play the grand final if they make it?
He would be eligible if they lost at least 1 game. So they're going to get the double chance.
Yeah.
If they go straight through, then it means he's going to miss 3 and he wouldn't be eligible. They'd need to let's say if they won and then lost, they'd play again, which would mean 4 games because he serves 1 this weekend. It's hard to keep up, I know.
I know. Again, I asked this question yesterday and I was sorry then and I'm sorry now.
All you need to know is that if it's 4 games, then they would lose a final if they keep on winning. Then he'd be eligible for the grand final. And you'd absolutely pick him because he's a freak.
You can see Dan Houston in his lounge room in the first final barracking for the Sydney Swans.
So that was pretty dramatic last night. Watch your space for more updates on that. But, hold my beer, ladies and gentlemen. Who's that in the back of the paddy wagon? Oh, my very goodness, it's Matt Crouch.
So interesting. Your friend of mine, Jace Kemp, who works for 10 News First, was down at the Crows the other day and he goes, oh, my God, there's a cop car here. We now know that cop car may well have been at West Lakes to talk to Matt Crouch.
Well, Matt Crouch was in handcuffs. Yes, and they had him against the paddy wagon. And we were like, what's going on here? And the Crow's like, nothing's nothing to see here. And we're like, okay.
Fake news.
Fake news. Obviously, I'm mucking around. That didn't happen.
So, to get you up to speed, this is what happened. Oh, okay. So, there's a Port supporter. He's hanging over the race there as Matt Crouch is walking off. He's giving him an absolute spray, right? He's giving him a mouthful. Enough.
Well, we don't know that for sure.
Well,
maybe he was yelling out, well done.
Well played, Crouchy. Well done.
Well, Crouchy, well done.
Yeah. So, whatever he said was enough to prompt Matt Crouch to flick his hat off his head.
Yes.
He has then gone, and he's gone to the police and said, he flicked my hat off my head.
He's called the cops.
Oh.
A spokesman for SA Police said the matter was under investigation by Eastern District Police after they received a report at the end of the showdown. So the only vision that we've got is not the initial incident, but a couple of seconds afterwards.
Yeah.
Where this guy's got his hat off and he has to pick up his hat and put it back on. So physically, he was unharmed.
Yeah, right.
Oh, my God.
Could I argue very staunchly that there are a better use of police resources?
You could definitely argue
There is so much going on in the community that needs SAPOL's attention, who are, by the way, hideously undermanned at the moment, and you're calling to say, he flicked my hand on my head.
Couldn't agree more. On a side note, though, Matt Crouch, what a bad boy.
Bad boys, bad boys.
Can't wait for the mugshot.
Be cute.
Launch Crouchy's modelling career, I reckon.
100% hotter now.
Mugshot guy.
Bullying. Can we talk about this for just a moment? Because Bazdear of the Living Room fame on Channel 10 put out this really emotional post this week. And he said, I just watched my little girl walk out the gates of our home, a place where I know she's safe and feels a sense of security and belonging, but she's heading to a place that doesn't offer the same security, her school. So apparently his little girl, Arabella, has been bullied. And he said, what do you say? What do you say to a child when you've already said, don't let them upset you, just keep being kind. You are not the horrible things they say. They're just saying those things because they are scared and confused themselves. And then she says, I don't want to be special. I just want to be liked. Oh man. It's so hard. It's so hard because on the whole, we have a wonderful school system here, but there are always going to be bullies, but that's life, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's always going to be horrible people. And I had a little taste of it this week because my little girl just started school. She started reception for the first time. So she's not even 5.
Yeah.
So can you imagine how heart-wrenching it is sending your little girl off in her oversized dress with her backpack that is bigger than her head?
Yeah.
And off she goes into a place where you know this is going to bring joy, but it is also going to bring a bit of heartache. And after the first week, Hazy, she came home, and I certainly won't name this little girl, but she said, such and such is being mean to me. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, oh, she just says, I don't like you and I don't want to play with you. And I said, well, does she have any other friends? And she said, no, she doesn't. And I said, well, honey, you're lucky. You've got Lockie and Archie and all the boys, because she does have a little posse around her.
You're all the lads.
You've got all the boys.
All the goons around her.
And I said, and you've got Hugo, and I said, and they all love you. And she's probably looking at that thinking that's something that I would like too. So I said, the best thing you can do is be kind to her. And she said, I've tried that, Mummy, but she's still mean, and she's a bit mean to everybody. And she said something next that broke my heart. Because I said, what about your big sister? Because her big sister's in year 6. I said, why don't you just hang around with her in the playground? And she turned around and she said, I do. But she said, when I'm in the classroom, Mummy, I just want someone to look after me.
Oh, yeah, that's
4.5.
That sucks, doesn't it? Oh, so I've got a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, and now you're sort of constantly trying to get information as to see where they're at and if it's happening. As far as we know, it's not happening. But there's kids listening right now. The whole sticks and stones will break my bones words, that is just so not true.
Yeah.
Your words are everything, and even if you feel like they're not doing much, they are. Even if you're not getting a response, you are making an impact.
Yeah.
So when I was at my school, and it was a very sporty school, my school,
Yeah.
there was one bloke in particular who, I think he was in the Australian Boys Choir or something like that.
Yeah.
And he got bullied for that, which is so ridiculous.
So ridiculous.
Anyway, fast forward 3 years later, and he took his life. And that was one of those ones where I wonder, some of the guys at my school who bullied this guy, I wonder if they sit there and how much it haunts them to know that maybe they played a role in a kid getting to such a level where he feels like that's the only option.
I know.
So heartbreaking. On top of that, a kid who would have been a nice kid, with an insanely incredible talent puts himself in that situation. That should break your heart, and that should be a big lesson. But it's still not getting through because there's not going to be any warning signs. That's the other thing for kids.
Yeah.
For bullies, there's not going to be warning signs.
No.
What you're going to see potentially
Yeah.
is the worst outcome.
Yeah. What I would say to kids who are copying it at school and who are being bullied and who are maybe in the car right now thinking I'm off to a place where I don't feel safe and I don't feel secure. Your high school years don't define you. Your primary school years don't define you. What defines you is the adult that you become and all those wonderful things that you're going to go and do when you leave what is a little microcosm of the world. It's not real life. Your real life starts when you walk out those doors and you become whoever the hell you want to be. So hang in there, kids. I know it can be tough. We all go through it, but hold your heads high. Keep being good little people and you'll survive it.
Yeah, you'll be fine, kids, and don't worry. I'm still trying to work out who I want to be, and I can't wait to grow up. And I'm 39. Okay,
I'm still waiting for you to grow up. We all are, mate. We all are.
What the fork?
What the fork?
What the fork is happening?
These are these small things that happen in life, and you go, what the fork is that about? And I asked myself that question this week when my phone was listening to my conversations.
always listening. Creepy little fella, isn't it?
Yeah. So we are planning a trip to Bali, and my husband and I were just discussing it in the kitchen. Just, hey, where should we stay? What dates can we go? Blah, blah, blah. Neck minute, all these ads on Facebook popped up for luxury escape villas in Bali. And you're like, oh my God, who are you?
Isn't that crazy?
It's like some sort of little intelligence device in your
really
house.
quite
It's always
alarming.
listening to your intimate conversations with your partner.
Yeah. My wife would say that my phone listens to her more than I do.
I
She's
would
a little bit concerned.
I would say that too. And then one of the cameramen at work was telling me how he was talking about the song Come On Eileen by
Great song.
Dexy's Midnight Runners.
Yes.
And then a certain meme came up that you might have all seen about
No.
that song. You've seen the meme. And that came up on his phone.
What's the meme?
Nothing.
It's pretty filthy, I'll
It's all
tell you.
good. Tell you in the song.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we'll tell you later.
Can you give me a hint?
Nah.
Just think about the title.
Yep.
I'm thinking.
Moving on.
Moving on. Moving swiftly on.
Okay.
Is this happening to you?
Yeah, it happens to me all the time. And most recently, and obviously it's to do with your algorithm as well.
Yeah.
But maybe if you say it out loud, it shows you one thing, and as soon as you click on it, all of a sudden it's in your algorithm.
Yeah.
I am getting all these ads for hair transplants in Turkey. It's I feel like it might be the same company. Maybe there's multiple companies. And it's always some bloke who's like, yeah, it's a really easy process. Yeah, I also got my teeth done as well. I'm like, mate, you stupid veneers. So now my phone thinks that I want to get hair plugs and veneers.
And veneers. You don't need veneers.
You don't. You've got
You
lovely
don't,
teeth.
And my hair's fine.
And
Sorry.
sorry. And your hair's thriving.
Yes.
yeah, so there you go. That's what's chock-a-blocking my phone at the moment.
Yeah. You had one.
I know.
I had one. The producer Zoe.
It's not even my fault, but we, as a bit of a birthday surprise for one of our girlfriends, online we bought her a special toy.
Oh.
Like a special
Like a
adult toy.
Pokemon or something?
Yes, and had it sent to her house. For about 2 months afterwards, my phone thought I was the dirtiest bird and that's all I wanted, and I couldn't get rid of the ads everywhere. Instagram, Facebook.
So many Pokemons everywhere.
Flying at me all over.
So, am I misreading the room here? First of all, it was a dirty meme apparently with Come On Eileen, which is a fantastic song.
Great
And now a
song.
special toy. Well, what am I missing here?
I
What's
don't
going
know.
on?
I'm not sure. We'll have to fill you in later.
Someone tell me what's going on here. A little bit confused.
How long's the next song? Because we've got some explaining to do.
Right. Don't offend me, by the way.
Okay.
Very offendable.
13 24 10. Do tell us, when was your phone or your device listening? Because sometimes it's your Google Home.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they listen.
They listen
Scary.
in all the time.
Okay. Can you turn it off, or is it always listening?
Doesn't it terrify you that at any point you could say, "Hey Siri," and she's listening? She's always ready.
Yeah.
She's very alert, and good on her for that.
Yeah, she's busy. She's
Appreciate
hardworking.
that.
Yeah.
You don't want to get Siri when she's not working as well, because she gets a little bit angry. Hey, Siri, and she's like, "It's my day off,
Yeah.
sweetie.
Sweetie,
Don't wake me up.
I don't work on Tuesdays."
Yeah. Actually, since when does Siri talk like that, by the way?
Because
I don't work on Tuesdays.
No, when she
That's
goes to
not
work.
how she sounds.
Yes, she does, because when she goes to work, she's very formal.
Oh.
She puts it completely on.
Oh, right. So that's a put on voice from Siri.
Very different person when she's off the clock. 13 24 10. Oh, when was the phone listening and what did it discover?
What the fork?
What the fork?
What the fork is happening?
What the fork is happening with your phone and your smart devices listening into all your conversations?
Yeah. Really, really just uncovering the inner truths of our, particularly when you have a private conversation with your significant other and maybe have a bit of a whinge fest. I'm always worried that Sue will be like, okay, I'll call that person.
Yes. Call them immediately. We were just talking about one of the cameramen at work was just talking about the song Come On Eileen, and then a filthy meme popped up on his phone.
Yeah, which is strange. We're all still trying to work out exactly what that means. Such a gorgeous song. Anyway, you guys didn't tell me in the air break what was going on there.
That's
so
right.
watch this space. As soon as I know, ladies and gentlemen, I'll report back to you on air.
Yeah, hang in there. Producer M, you were saying that your friends deliberately try and trigger their other halves' phones.
Yes, and I must admit I may or may not have done this as well. But if you are with someone for quite a while and you're waiting for that ring, the engagement ring, while they're in the shower or, they might be in the other room, just grab their phone and put up engagement ring, the style of cup that you're after, how many carats, all that kind of stuff. I know that has happened multiple times.
Pointed, you psycho.
Psychopath.
And it did work because Michael, on his Facebook, he got ads for a certain jeweler that I really liked. I didn't get the ring from there in the end, but anyway.
Yeah, right. That's what you're dealing with, by the way, Michael. So heads up, if producer Emily gets angry with you and she offers you some mushroom soup, I'd be very, very careful.
Mine would probably more be tips on how to clean properly for him, but anyway.
Yeah. When was your phone listening, Charlotte?
So there was this really weird time. I was at the shop just having a look, and I seen this vegan cookie dough.
Yeah.
And I just thought, oh, my friend would really like that cookie dough. I got to tell her about it. I just had the thought in my head. Left the shop. About 5 minutes later, went on my phone, and the cookie dough was the first ad on my Facebook.
What?
So I feel like that happens as well, Charlotte. Like, you didn't verbalise it?
No, didn't verbalise it. Just thought in my head, like, I need to tell her about this. I'd never seen the cookie dough in my life, never heard of the brand. And then, it was on, and I'm not vegan myself, but it was like on my Facebook.
So, okay, 13, 24, 10, if anyone can explain this, by the way, how that happens, how you can have a thought in your head and your phone can then advertise it. What the heck?
It just makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. Whether I had my phone in my hand and the camera, seen the dough, I don't know. But I was, at the shop. And
quite frightening, isn't it?
That is crazy.
Thank you, Charlotte. Ellen, when did your phone read your mind or listen into what you were saying?
A bit of both, really, guys. Good morning. So we've been casually talking about getting a puppy, and so as you do when you're in a staff meeting at work, you're just scrolling through your phone, and a local breeder that I've been in touch with actually met at the vet with our other dog. Her page popped up, and funnily enough, her dog had just had puppies. And 7 days later, I put a deposit down and we pick up said puppy next month.
There you go. so this is the process, though. But, Ellen, this has actually been quite helpful.
Yes and no. I couldn't afford puppy, but, we'll make it work. And my phone, funnily enough, my phone went for a swim on Monday, so now I need the phone as well. So, I wonder what sort of ads are going to pop up on my Facebook now.
Yeah, the phone that's drenched. Good luck showing some ads for that, for the new phone.
Yeah. Just a little ad for some snorkels or something.
See, this is crazy. This is just ridiculous. Our
nuts.
phones are absolutely listening to us. Can be helpful, can be quite exposing, if you will.